Now, whenever I come across a team like this, Giraffary, Golduck, Maractus, Mightyena, that puts a smile on my face. I love to go against people who like to experiment with different kind of PU Pokemon like this. I think it was actually an NU match because Golem's there, and I'm like 84% sure that Golem is NU. But the rest is PU, so it's a pretty interesting battle, and yeah, I figured he'd probably want to lead off with his Golem just to get up the Stealth Rocks and whatnot, so I'm going to lead with Seeking, and I really need to rename this thing to Roy Jones because you will not win because he will not lose. That's the motto that Seeking lives by. Now, I really did predict the switch here, but I really didn't feel confident enough in my decision to go for Mega Horn, so I kind of took the middle ground and went for Ice Beam. So I probably should have gone for Mega Horn anyway, but doesn't really matter too much. Brings in Maractus, and I'm going to switch out to Glaceon. Not really knowing what he's going to go for, but I can at least go for a super powerful Ice Beam on this guy to try and threaten him out. But he goes for Cotton Guard, so I figure he's probably going to want to try and stay in. I go for an Ice Beam, and by some miracle I outspeed. I guess he's a more defensive thing. And he goes for Toxic, which, yeah, kind of confirms that he's a more defensive variant. Now, Maractus actually got Drain Punch from the Black and White 2 move tutors, and it already had, what, Wood Hammer, Sucker Punch, Growth, I guess, counts as a pretty good boosting move, so, you know, you have this guy on a Sun team with Chlorophyll, you know, Growth, all this good stuff. I reckon there's some good potential for Maractus there, but he brings in Golduck, and I bring in Grim. I don't think I necessarily predicted the switch to Golduck, but I thought, hey, let's bring out Grim. Why not, right? Now it goes to Golem, and, you know, obviously it's going to take it pretty well. I get a crit, and that only does, what, just over a third, so I don't know, this is not bad considering it's a Golem, but I got to switch out now, go into Maractus just to hopefully take an Earthquake or whatever. But he goes for Rock Polish, and that kind of confused me because I thought he was a more defensive variant, but he's going to go for Rock Polish and then go for Stone Edge just to get some good damage on me. Now, looking at the damage, I don't have any defensive investment in this Maractus, and it's not the best of defensive Pokemon. And I've stabbed Stone Edge from Golem, which has like base 100 or so attack, I think. It still only does around about half, so I don't know if he's like a more defensive thing, but he just happens to have Rock Polish or what, but yep, kill him off with the Giga Drain, and if you're wondering why I got so much health back from that, it's because I have the Big Root as my item, so, you know, it kind of increases the recovery you get back from stuff like Leech Seed and Giga Drain, Drain Punch, all that good stuff. So it's pretty much a perfect item for Maractus. Now in comes Muck, and in comes Seeking. Seeking does not care for Muck's shenanigans with Curse and whatnot. So I go for Choice Banded Waterfall and get the lucky flinch, which is a bit unfortunate for him. Now I switched to Sandshrew here. I probably should have predicted the switch to Maractus, but I guess I kind of thought, okay, let's take the middle ground again and go to Sandshrew, and at least then I can switch out. I didn't want to give him a Storm Drain boost, was pretty much what I was thinking. So I go to Grim here just to take whatever and hopefully kill him off with a Crunch, get some momentum going with Moxie. And that Giga Drain does kind of more than I'm comfortable with, so just got to try and kill this thing off. Now he is going to switch out here, fearing Crunch or whatever. And I believe I just go ahead and go for the Crunch anyway, just because if he goes into Golem again, fine, I'm gradually wearing it down. But he makes the good play here, goes into his own Mightyena. And unfortunately, I don't have anything that can actually hit this guy. I have, what, Crunch, Sucker Punch, Me First, I think, and Sub. Actually, to be honest, I don't know if I had Me First at the time of recording this battle, but I normally tend to carry either Me First or Toxic on Mightyena, which is kind of handy for wearing down walls. But in any case, it goes for a Fire Fang, and Sandshrew gets the burn, which is unfortunate, but hey, at least I'm taking the attacks pretty well, so not too bad. I get up my rocks at least, and now he's going to switch out to his Golduck. I just go for a knockoff on whatever. I didn't necessarily predict the switch into Golduck, but I figured, okay, knockoff on anything, gotta be good, right? So I get rid of his Life Orb, which is pretty good because it does let me know what kind of set he's running, to a certain extent. I mean, I was kind of worried about him being a choice variant, but now that that's out of the way, don't need to worry about that. Now, Glaceon comes in and I figure I can take most attacks from Golduck pretty well. I kind of assumed he would be a special variant, but if he was some kind of Hone Claws cross-chop set or whatever, yeah, I don't think I'd be taking those hits too well. Luckily, he is a Calm Mind set with, you know, Psychic, probably Hydro Pump, Ice Beam, whatever. It's a pretty cool set. Golduck is a pretty versatile Pokemon. I just go for a Wish, and I figure, okay, next turn I'll just go for a Mirror Coat, figuring he'll probably want to attack me. I don't know why he goes for Psychic, but maybe he thought it would kill at that kind of range. I just go for a Toxic, actually. No, I do go for a Toxic, figuring he might go for another Calm Mind. But now that I've got my Wish up, and I've got the Toxic on the Golduck, I feel like I can start applying more pressure, because obviously he's not going to want to keep setting up on me if the time is ticking down on his life. Oh, that sounds pretty sinister for a Pokemon game. It goes for a Surf, and I figure this turn I'm just going to go for a Mirror Coat and take this guy out. I'll probably die to Toxic, but it's worth the sacrifice, to be honest. There's nothing else I'd rather have take the Surf from a +1 or +2, whatever he's at, Golduck. So yeah, that kind of works out. Foxmint there, taking out the Golduck, and unfortunately dying for his brave and valiant efforts to the poison. Now, who do we have left? I don't remember, but he's going to bring in his Snoopy Dog here, or Snoop Lion as he prefers to be called nowadays. Why Snoop Lion? Bring in Heatmor here, and he goes for Crunch. Now, I figure Heatmor can probably take any single attack from an unboosted Mightyena. Unfortunately, he does get a crit, which is pretty bad for Heatmor. Heatmor, of course, being one of my favourite things to use in PU, does not get to shine once again. But it's cool, I got Shrew-Manchu here to back him up. Shrew-Manchu has got his back. I know that I can take a +1 Crunch. Actually, that's a lie. I just kind of hoped that I could. That was my last hope at this point. I hope I can take a Crunch, and I do just about, and go for an Earthquake just for some damage, and I luckily die off to the burn as opposed to his attack, so no more Moxie boost for you, Mightyena. Now, I figure the best thing I can do here is bring in Maractus, because my own Mightyena can't do anything to his, and even if I did have me first, I'm probably slower than him because I'm Adamant Nature as opposed to Jolly, so I figure going to Maractus, I can probably take one hit and Giga Drain back to health. So that's that threat taken care of. Now he brings in Girafarig, and I was praying, I was saying please don't go for Signal Beam here, please don't have Signal Beam. But he goes for Psychic, so I'm happy, that works out for me. Now I'm kind of just hoping he's kind of a Choice Scarf or Choice Specs variant here, because Girafarig does naturally outspeed, or maybe he predicted Sucker Punch, I don't really know, but I'm just going to go for Crunch as he brings in Maractus, and that definitely works out for me because I get my Moxie boost. Get the momentum going. Grimm's building up the momentum. He's getting angry. Now he's going to bring back in Girafarig, and I don't know if he's choiced once again, but I know he's faster, so I'm just going to go for a Sucker Punch. And that is going to take out the Girafarig. I like going for Crunch on the first turn and then kind of hopefully making people think that I don't have the Sucker Punch, whereas, you know, you'd be stupid not to run Sucker Punch on Mightyena, really. It's a pretty kind of shallow move pool, so Crunch, Sucker Punch, and then 2 filler moves is kind of the best you can do. Now he brings in Muck, and he's just going to run at this point, because I guess he knows he can't really take a +2 Crunch from Mightyena at that kind of range. So yeah, that was a really interesting battle, Pizzaman12. Really enjoyed seeing stuff like Maractus and Mightyena being used. Like, this is the one game I've brought both of those Pokemon together, I think. And, you know, what are the chances of running into someone else using the same 2 Pokemon, right? It's cool, I love it. PU is a great tier. So, hope you guys enjoyed, and with that being said, I will see you guys next time. Goodbye.